Alright, Sloppy Joe here. We got some ammo for the Tokarev. So we're going to take some first shots, see how it goes.
I fixed the scope. I fixed the spotting scope.
92 lever?
Yeah. The little shorty rifle.
Goes.
My ejector. Next time.
Alright.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, I'm Bryn.
Bryn?
Bryn. Yeah. I'm Wells. One of those guys.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Got my eyes?
Yes.
You know, sometimes it can be something very simple, other times you may need a new...
Okay, well, it feels pretty good. It's light recoil. Can't really tell where I'm shooting because we're shooting at someone's used target. We're still at live fire here at our range. So it'll be 15 minutes before we can set up a new target and really figure out where it's hitting. But first impressions, it shoots nice, very light recoil. Sights are a little hard to pick up, so that's something to get used to. But other than that, we'll keep shooting it and we'll follow up later. What's up, everybody? Sloppy Joe here. I'm thinking about renaming the channel the Soviet Arms Channel, or Soviet Surplus Arms, something like that. That seems to be what I really favor, is, you know, Soviet arms, with the exception of the modern CZs and things like that, which, if I could, I would just make endless videos about that CZ SP01 that I've purchased, because the amount of fun I have shooting that, I just can't say enough. But anyway, this is finally a part 2 follow-up to the Tokarev M57 that I did, maybe a month, 2 months ago, I don't remember now. But the pistol you see before you is not the one originally reviewed and talked about. This is actually a replacement from Century. The first one, we had acquired some ammo, took it to the range, and everything was hunky-dory until a couple hundred rounds in, loaded a mag, slid it home, cocked, ready to fire, and I noticed the front blade sight was gone. So I don't know if it was loose. I didn't detect any looseness, you know, when I was first did purchase the weapon, because I wanted to check to make sure everything was, you know, in place. So I don't know if I hit the tip of the pistol against something, or if just the vibration of shooting worked it loose and I just didn't feel that it was very loose. Who knows? But to Century's credit, I gave them a call and I said, hey, you know, can I just get a front sight replacement? And, you know, I'll happily put it in myself, no big deal. And they had, they emailed me back, I think within 2 hours. It was pretty quick. And they said, hey, we checked with our parts and we don't have it, so we'll just replace the gun. So they sent a return number. I put it in a box. I shipped it to them on their dime. And 2 weeks later, this showed up at my front door. Good as new. Brand new gun. Again, never fired. And it's the same stuff. A couple magazines, cleaning rod. They did add a kind of a chintzy little trigger safety, but anyway. So that was all fine and good. So now I just have to go shoot this one. The only difference being that I'm not thrilled about, but I think I can work in, is the trigger on this one is a lot stiffer than the first one I got. The first one was very crisp and easy to break. This one is it's crisp, but definitely not easy to break. It's probably double, or I'd say it's double. No, I'll take that back. Right on this puller here, that's probably triple the amount of effort it took to break the trigger on that first pistol. It was very, very, very bad when I pulled it out of the box. Disassembled, cleaned it. I oiled and lubed the trigger assembly, the trigger pack. That, as you can see, if you remember, the trigger pack lifts out. So I broke, I lubed, greased up the sears and the springs and all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot better. I think it just needs some time to wear in. But that's something I can play with. It's not a big deal. So I'm also going to be playing with Video Editor on this video and try to work in some shots of my wife shooting, myself shooting it, so you can see kind of how it behaves. And then here on the table, I just wanted to give a quick comparison to some of you who might be thinking about buying one of these, so you can compare what the ammo looks like is. So what you got is this first round. This is your standard 9x18 Makarov round. What is it, 900,000 feet per second, just ball ammo. Standard issue stuff for the Soviets for a long, long time. This is your standard 9x19, 9mm, 1,200 feet per second. Everyone knows that round. Go to this one. America's round, the 45 ACP, which is just a big, giant garbage can looking round. It's huge compared to the others, as you can see. But compared to the 918 9x9 or 918 919, and then the 45, and then the good old Tokarev 7.62 25, which very much resembles a modern day 357 SIG, things like that, a cut down round, but very fast, very high rate of speed. This is, some of these loaded out are 1,600 plus feet per second, known to penetrate low level body armor. And in shooting this pistol, I found it actually very easy to shoot. It did not display large amounts of recoil. It definitely has a very unique sound, and that's probably something to do with the high rate of speed of the round being fired. But it was not, it wasn't scary to shoot. It wasn't, didn't, bite back or anything like that. It was actually very pleasant. I wish I had shot it more, except that we lost the front sight. And also, ammo is still a little scarce. My local gun shop has been carrying it, but at the at the almost laughable $35 a box for new manufactured stuff. And I know a couple of the online websites are a little bit lower. My favorite one, they had some at 18 bucks. Hopefully after the 4th of July week, when they're back in business, I can get some of that, because I do want to get out and shoot this quite a bit. Number one, I want to see if I can break in the trigger and work that in. And number two, I just really didn't get a good assessment and a good feel for everything that this pistol has to offer. So, it could be, if you're looking at buying one of these, one thing I would say in my short experience with them is it could be a full-size carry pistol. But know that you're going to be limited. You have 8-round capacity in your mag. You could throw one in the pipe. So you're limited there, but you do have a lot of power behind it. It's not a 45, but a lot of modern, a lot of these modern pistols and stuff, they substitute that, being a 45 for how much you can cram in it. That being said, like the Glocks, CZs, things like that, holding 17, 18 rounds in their magazines. This is low capacity. This is 8 rounds, which is a lot for the 1940s. But today, yeah, it's it's a very old equivalent to a 1911. So still holds that 7-8 round mags. You can throw one in the pipe, but yeah, you could carry it. It is a little heavy. It's narrower than a 1911. It weighs a little less. and the ammo's a little, it's not as heavy. So the only limiting factor is the amount of ammo you can carry. But the plus on that is I would imagine, I've got to search out some ballistics information on this, because I've got to imagine this is a pretty devastating little round when it hits soft tissue, especially when it can penetrate low-level body armor. It has just got to wallop and devastate, tissues when it hits us. So I'm going to have to do a little more research on that, see if anyone's done ballistics testing on this little guy. But it's a fun round to shoot. It's unique. The pistol itself is very unique. I've done some more searching. I've seen where you can replace the plastic grips with nice wood grips, grips that wrap around. So I might do that in the future. I think I've said that before. I still may do that just because for a 70-year-old design, actually probably more than that, but just a service pistol, Soviet service pistol, yeah, it's a good grip, but these were not designed to be hyper accurate, competition pistols. This was designed that in a last ditch effort, you pull it, you try to kill a German, and be in World War II Russia, and, you might kill another Russian and take his Mosin, so you can fight with a rifle. That was your main thing, was you had your battle rifle, and this would have been your absolute last-ditch effort. I got to kill somebody and take their rifle. And knowing how things were in Russia at that time, that could mean killing one of your comrades in arms right next to you and taking his rifle. So, for that purpose, I think it would have been more than accurate, or not accurate, more than adequate. So, but I'm going to follow up with some final thoughts, and other than that, if you have any more questions, comments, whatnot, I will welcome them. And I'll be doing another video once we've shot it a lot, and we'll do some shooting videos as well of us in action. So look forward to those. We'll talk to you later. Alright guys, some final thoughts on the Tokarev. It's a great pistol. I would recommend picking one up if you've been thinking about it, especially a new manufactured pistol versus a surplus Yugoslav or a Romanian. Those have a lot of question marks as far as age, parts used, etc. These, from everything I can see, are new manufactured guns. Everything internally looks brand new, barrel looks new. It's just a new pistol based off the original design, which is cool. A couple downsides. Some of you might dislike this grip. It is a little awkward feeling. Again, I might put in a grip insert where it'll give me a little bit right here in this, what would be the mainspring housing area of any other pistol. Just to fill in this void right here. That's something I might do. Something others might have some issue with, especially if you think you're going to quick draw this, the sights. They're just military sights. They are not they're not easy to pick up fast. If you have time to aim and shoot, that's great. If you can draw from the holster and you know exactly where you're going to point and shoot, and you can do that, great. But if you have to draw, aim, and fire with this pistol, it's not fast, we'll say. So keep that in mind. But for price point of $250 to $275, it's a fun gun. Everything in it, it's Soviet. It's very high quality, simple, robust. The only downside is the ammo, which is a few, on the low end, $20 a box. On the high end, $30, $35 a box, which is not bargain basement, cheap to shoot prices, especially when you consider that you're only into the gun $250. Kind of like buying a Honda Civic for its fuel economy, only to find out you then have to run nitromethane at $20 a gallon. So it's a little bit like that. And it's kind of a bummer because you would think with the surplus being a surplus pistol or a new old pistol, this old ammunition, the Tokarev ammunition, would be a little bit cheaper, but it's not. I think it's just right now it's hard to find. Prices are a little inflated, but if you can find it, get it, shoot it, have fun with it. I would not say not to. I wouldn't say don't buy a gun like this. It's fun for, I'd say, occasional use. It's not something you're probably going to take with you to the range or into the mountains and shoot 500 rounds every weekend. This is probably going to be something you're going to shoot once a month, once every couple months, maybe once every 6 months. Maybe not at all. You might just buy it, put it in your collection, enjoy it, but hey, I can't fault that either. So, kind of in closing on the Tokarev before we move on to other things, hey, if you're thinking about it, grab one. Why not? It's $250. It's not the end of the world if you don't shoot it, or if you do, hey, it's only $250. So, well built. I'm gonna have to shoot this one, see how accurate it is. That other one, who knows? Maybe the sight was moving around. But that all being said, get one if you've been thinking about it. There's enough people with interest. It's cheap, fun to shoot. Why not? So that's that on that. Stay tuned. We're going to be picking up some new old Soviet stuff today. We're looking at Hungarian pistols next, as well as Makarov. So we'll do a combination Makarov pistol review and shoot on various Makarov caliber pistols from ex-Soviet states. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a fun one. And that's it. Solid Joe out.